In this series, we are trying to bring out the teachings of Venerable Waharaka Tero from Hela Piyuma magazines. I hope these precious teachings could bring some light to our path towards Nibbana. The following is a summary taken from the Hela Piyuma magazine version 2. Topic is Piliwethin pela gaseema, or how a person should follow the path to Nibbana. Today, to all Buddhists, the performing religious rituals is very important. Supreme Buddha has said it is the greatest offering among all offerings to end the samsara. Supreme Buddha had said, Evan upasangharati means it is easy to understand things when compared with examples. Piliwethin pela or when following the path, it should be done in a step-by-step method. The following example is taken to explain how this step-by-step process works. All beings cannot exist with one kind of food, so according to the age, it should differ. Heavy foods like yam, cassava, sweet potatoes with chili sambal is not suitable for all. Accordingly, the mother's milk or infant food does not agree to children of all ages. Accordingly, from the infant child, young, middle age, old age, the food should differ. If we give infant food to a young person, he will get malnutrition. Similarly, if the child is given heavy food, he will not be able to digest it. The Buddhist society should be nourished accordingly. Supreme Buddha taught how we should follow the path to Nibbana in this manner. The Buddhist practices also have different stages like infant, child, youth, middle age, and the old age. So let's look at how this works. A person with sickness, legal matters, lack of money, household problems start seeking solutions for them. By trying to solve these problems, gets more and more stressed. A wise person thinks these problems are common to all. He comes to know that there is a solution to these problems according to Buddhist Dhamma. Then he goes to a Buddhist temple, seeking the calmness in the temple, the mind gets pleased. The person getting associated with the people there gradually learns the qualities of Buddha. Person will start to understand things better. The person starts to realize Jine kadariyang danene. The greedy person can win the greediness with generosity or dana. Then the thoughts like my wealth, my money, the pride goes away. The Supreme Buddha has taught the method how to get free from the greed with generosity. So the person sees that how he can give alms and be happy. He gets praise from all sides. He sees cause and effect everywhere and start to see what is happening in the surrounding clearly. Then his thinking will start to develop. He will start to understand getting angry with the person, scolding and hurting are not good. From birth to death, we need help from others. We have a body that gets nourished from others. At birth, we get fed from mother's milk. The milk powder we get is from an animal, and to get it to our homes, it needs the help of thousands of people. No one can live without the help of others, so this body nourished by others' help. So should not harm others, must think it as a great crime. But today, when you hear of a crime, you curse others. See, this person had done a bad thing and see the results he got. That is the way to see the justice. The lack of wisdom is the reason for this. To avoid these actions, they should eradicate greed, anger, and ignorance. After getting the knowledge in this way, a Buddhist infant becomes a grown-up Buddhist child. Accordingly, non-greed, non-anger, non-ignorance will be understood and justified. You become a Buddhist in this way, not by just chanting precepts. Supreme Buddha converted different believers with true belief. True Buddhism should be observed in the following way. Due to greed, anger, ignorance, 10 great immoral acts are done by the three doors, mind, body, and the words. Killing, stealing, and misconduct are done by wrong conduct with body. Lying, slandering, harsh words, and frivolous talk is done by misconduct with words. Greed, anger, and the wrong view are done by the wrong conduct with the mind. To get away from these immoral acts just by observing five precepts is not enough. But today, even the five precepts are wrongly observed. Without killing animals, without stealing, without misconduct, without telling lies, without taking liquor is not the correct way to observe the five precepts. Should see the five precepts combined with 10 moral acts. Panchasila, or the five precepts, should understand in the following way. King Selang, Pahana Selang, Veramani Selang, Chetana Selang, Sangvara Selang, Avitikkama Selanti. This explains Pahana Sila, Veramani Sila, Chetana Sila, Sangvara Sila, and Avitikkama Sila are the five precepts. We should classify them and should know them properly. So we should look at these in detail in the following way. If we take first sila, panatipata, or killing living things or hurting them, so doing this with a hateful mind is a bad karma, and understand this properly is pahana sila. Whether there is a hell or heaven, if you know that the killing and hurting is a bad karma, and if one refrain from it, this sinful idea vanishes away. This is pahana sila. This happens through understanding with wisdom. Veramani Sila, having a thought that I will refrain from taking sticks or weapons to harm animals and will not have an enjoyment from it. This is Veramani Sila. Chetana Sila, now that person will not have thoughts of killing. This is Chetana Sila. Sangvara Sila, the idea of killing animals or hurting them is refrained from mind, body, and speech, is Sangvara Sila. Avitikkama Sila, the idea of non-killing is taken by wisdom. Then there is no way that the killing or hurting others can happen by that person. This is Avitikkama Sila. The next akusalo karma is adatta dana, or stealing or taking anything that belongs to other people. When wisdom develops, the understanding will develop and the idea of taking others' things will vanish away. This is the Pahana Sila. When the person fulfills the Pahana Sila, then the wanting to plan or use an instrument for stealing will also disappear. If they enjoy doing these acts, this will not happen again. This is Veramani Sila. When this happens, the idea or the thought of taking others' belongings will also vanish. This is the Chetana Sila of Adatta Dana. The person will no longer use the mind and body for such acts, and this is Sangvara Sila. So when the decisions comes with wisdom to avoid Adatta Dana, the person will not do such acts ever again. The decision was taken wisely. The method is well explained in Buddhist texts like Patisambhidamagga, Netiprakarana, or Pitakapadesa. According to above, all the 10 unwholesome deeds should also be understood according to the five precepts. It is not observing and protecting, it is understanding through the wisdom that give Nitya Sila or the permanent Sila. Then the reasons to get into four hells is halted. When this is understood, the infant has become a child in the Buddhist society. Yet this Buddhist child has heard of Dhanakatha or generosity and Silakatha or discipline. Now this person will start to give Dana or observing Sila without greed, hatred or delusion. After this, he hears about the heavens and start to understand non-greed, non-anger, and without a delusional mind, how to become a divine being. Now they perform the duties to parents, relations, and to the society. Now he is in the heavenly way or reached the stage of Sugatikata. As all the beings does not get this thought of following the path is difficult. So when they follow the path, the troubles could come up due to Mara's act to avoid these. Just like taking cotton wool through the fire, the practice has to be done carefully. If the cotton wool is wet, that can be taken away from fire easily. To develop the path, the person should also do the meditation of compassion and kindness to have the protection. The compassion and kindness should be practiced well in the following way. If one scolds and we hears it only, we feel the pain. If we react, we will not be able to feel the pain. If one hits us, if we too hit in return, we will not feel it. When we feel in this way, we will say to ourselves that I will never do such things to anybody. Then we become a sage or a samana. This is the way of a hermit or a tapasa. Then the person will start to think that in a such world, even if I do any kind of justice, if the world is full of troubles and the world is full of greed, hatred, and ignorance, better to get released from the world. So this way, the person will start to see the Adinava or the results of living in such a world and see the Nissarana or how to end the suffering. Now the Buddhist child is becoming a youth. He sees the world is full of dukkha, physical pain, jara, sickness, marana, death, soka, sorrow, parideva, lamentation, domanasya, suffering, and upayasa, despair. Now it is the time to get a deep Dhamma with the association of a Satpurusha or a disciple of the Buddha. The person to have an understanding of the Hetupala or cause and effect, Paticca Samuppada or dependent origination will be the next stage. As long as one is holding to births or jati, he will have to go through dukkha or suffering. The person will hear this from a Satpurusha. The death and sickness is created by jati or birth. Without a reason, the birth will not be created. It is the bhava or existence or becoming that creates jati. The bhava is formed with the five aggregates, rupa, matter or body, vedana or sensations, sanya or the perceptions, sankara, mental, physical or verbal formations, or vijnana or the consciousness. The reason for bhava is upadana or the grasping. Upadana is created as worldly existence is taken as priya or madhura, loving and sweet, and grasping it. Due to tanha or craving, upadana is created. Reason for tanha is sukha, dukkha, or upekka vedana, or the feelings. Feelings or vedana was created due to the mind touches or sampasa happens with the salayatana or the sensory organs, eye, ear, nose, tongue, and the mind. Salayatana was created through Namarupa or name and form. Namarupa was formed from the last birth, taking the world the existence is enjoyable. Namarupa is created due to the vijnana or the consciousness. The vijnana is formed due to the sankara, the mental, physical, and verbal formations. Sankara formed due to ignorance or avidya. Accordingly, dukkha or suffering is formed due to ignorance or avidya, or could say due to attachment and thinking the world is precious and getting hold of it due to chandaraga. By seeing the unvaluability of the world, and one should give up attachment and follow the eightfold path. When understanding the Four Noble Truths, now the Buddhist child is a non-returner to this world. The Four Noble Truths will be explained in details in future recordings. Now there is no need to listen to Dhamma. but listening to Dhamma will make the person reach Nibbana or the enlightenment quicker. By following this step-by-step path is known as Anupurva Siksha or Piliwethin pela gaseema. Sadhu, Teruvan Saranai.